Hello, this is Paul Conterio with eFile Cabinet, and welcome to our SecureDrawer training. Also, thank you for taking time today to be here. I know your time is valuable, so I'll do whatever I can to make sure it is well spent. So let's get started. We currently have three products: eFile Cabinet Desktop, which is our client-server document management solution; eFile Cabinet Online, which is our document management solution in the cloud; and SecureDrawer, which is our portal that integrates seamlessly with either eFile Cabinet Desktop or eFile Cabinet Online. This training, however, is just for SecureDrawer. There is a separate training session for the integration of SecureDrawer with eFile Cabinet Desktop and a separate session for eFile Cabinet Online. This training, the training we are now on, is recommended before taking either of the SecureDrawer integration training sessions. So here is the agenda for today's training. First, we'll talk about the structure of SecureDrawer: accounts, cabinets, drawers, folders, and the files contained therein. We'll talk about settings. There are user settings and account settings. We'll talk about users and groups, profiles, templates, permissions, notifications, item expiration, recycle bin, and audit logs. Okay, number one, structure. The uppermost structure of SecureDrawer is the account. You will see this icon representing your account when you log in. Most likely you will only see one account. However, if you are a guest user or a user of multiple SecureDrawer accounts, you will see them too. Your email address uniquely identifies you to a SecureDrawer account. So if you use the same email address for more than one account, you will see those accounts when you log in. I am the main user of this account. I have called it My Business. Using the same email address, I'm also a guest user of Blaylock & Company CPA. James Blaylock created a drawer for me, which I'll show you in a few minutes. SecureDrawer is structured with accounts, cabinets, drawers, and folders, and there is no limit to the number of cabinets, drawers, folders, and even subfolders you can create. So let's take a look. All right, I have logged into SecureDrawer, into my account, and you can see right away that there are 5 accounts here that I am part of. My business is my account. I'm the main user here. And there's Blaylock & Company. I'm a guest user. And then there's JR, Jesse, and Eric. Who are they? JR is the Project Management Director for eFile Cabinet. Jesse is the CEO of eFile Cabinet. And Eric is the Vice President of Customer Success of eFile Cabinet. We drink our own Kool-Aid. Each of these individuals has set me up as a guest user in their account. Now let's take a look at Blaylock & Company. I'm going to click on that account. Here is a drawer that James Blaylock has given me. And as I look over to the right, you can see in the detailed menu, there's an icon for permissions. So as a guest user, I can see that James has given me read permissions. Now what does that mean? That means anything James places into this drawer, I will receive. I can download it to my computer. I have access to it. I cannot put anything back into this drawer. This is a one-way permission. If he gives me, or if he had given me write permissions, then I could also put documents, files back into this drawer that he then would receive. But he's limited it to just one way he can push documents to me. So let's take a look at Jesse, our CEO. What has he given me? He's given me a folder. And so you can see here we've exchanged some videos. And if you look over at the permissions, Jesse has given me also the write permission. So he can send me documents, he can send me files, he can send me videos, and I can send him back the files, videos, or whatever I decide I need to send Jesse. I do not have the delete permissions. And so you can see as guest users, I am limited to the account owner as to what he or she wishes to give to me. Now let's go up to my account, my business, and when I click on that, notice over in the detailed menu, much more functionality shows itself because I am the admin user. There's profiles, there's permissions, there's item expiration, there's notification, and there's audit logs. And there's two different places I can show you where this is, and we'll get into this later. But as you go back into my account, notice I have cabinets here: employees, family, friends, human resources, SecureDrawer. It's my SecureDrawer cabinet that I have set up pretend clients as if I had my own business, and we'll get into that in a moment. But this shows you that you can use SecureDrawer for other things. You can expand it. Now, why do I have employees here? Because I have given permissions to employees, just like Jesse and JR and Eric has given me permissions to their account. I have given permissions to employees here. Again, we drink our own Kool-Aid. I've created in the employee cabinet a drawer called All Employees. Now, if I drop any kind of document or file into this drawer, everyone, as you look over here, who's a member of my employee group, which is everyone, will receive whatever I put in this drawer. They'll receive an email notifying them that I have just put a file in the All Employee drawer. Now, I've given permissions for the employees just to receive from me. I did not authorize anyone to send anything back to me through this drawer. So this is one way from me to all the employees in this group. Now, I have a development team drawer also, and so this is a subset of the company employees. These are the developers within our company. I have a development team group. Anything I place in this drawer, just the development team members will receive it. Again, this is something I can send to them. I have not given them permission to send anything back to me. And I have done this with every department inside eFile Cabinet: the IT team, the marketing team, the sales team, the support team. And then we get down here, we have the individual employees. So I have a separate drawer for them. So if I want to work with Alex and click on his drawer, then you notice his name comes up here. This is who has permission, is Alex and me, to this particular drawer. Notice also to the right here, I've given him write permissions. So he can send documents or files back to me, and I can send them to him. It goes full duplex both directions. And I have done this for every employee. So let me show you another cabinet that I've created. It's my family cabinet. I actually use this. This drawer within the cabinet, all family, I have a family group. Anything I place in this drawer, everyone who's a member of my family group will receive it. So I can throw in a family picture, I can throw in documents, I can throw in files, and everyone in my family would receive an email letting him or her know that I've placed something in the all family drawer. Notice I've only given permissions for them to receive from me. They cannot give back to me here. Now, each individual family member I've set up in their own drawer. These are real family members of mine. And if I click on it, you'll see it'll be full duplex, where, for example, Ashley here, she can receive documents and also send documents back to me. Now, if I go down to Hector, the reason I'm going to show you Hector is he is in my family cabinet. He is not a family member. He's a pretend person. Everyone else is a real person. The reason I'm showing you Hector is because I'm also going to show you why I'm here, the profile that I've set up for my family. Here is my family profile. And the reason I'm showing you Hector, not someone else, is that these are real people and this would be real personal information. But I'm showing you Hector. This is all made up, but this is my family profile. I have family member, email, phone number. I created these individual profile items and then created my family profile. So if I search for anything in here, up here, it will bring me back to Hector or anyone else that has the same information. Notice I have family member, I put kin. Okay, so this exists in every one of my family members, family member item and the word kin. So if I come up here and just type the word kin in this search field, all of my family members will come as a result of that search. So here are all my family members. Now if I go back again, if I click on the icon here, this has been branded, and I'll teach you how to brand your SecureDrawer in a minute. But if you click on the icon, it brings you back to the home page. I'm going to go back up to the employee cabinet for a moment. Go down to one of the employees. Let's go down to Alex. Okay, notice Alex, if I go to the profile information, I have a e-file cabinet employee profile. So this is the information that I've put together that I want to capture for each of the employees. Notice if I go down to Alan, same profile, but the unique identifiers are for Alan and not now for Alex. So each person in here has their unique identifiers, full name, company name, department, email, and each one of them has their personalized information in their profile. Now if I type EFC up here, it's going to pull up all my employees. So let's type EFC and search for that. And these are all the employees inside e-file cabinet. All right, so let's go back to my business. And let me go down to friends. I have a friends cabinet that I'm starting now. Same principle with my friends. I have one for human resources and my secure drawer cabinet. These are all my pretend clients that I have in here. And when I get into the integration training, I will show you the relationship between these drawers and those that have been set up inside e-file cabinet. And remember, that's a separate training. And so looking at the structure, let's go to Conterio Pablo. This is a real person. If I had 100 or 1,000 or many different drawers here, I can simply find that client very quickly by typing his name in here, part of his name or part of his profile information. And there is that client, the pretend client, Pablo. Clicking on that brings me right back to his drawer. Notice there's a folder structure also in this client's drawer. I have a 216 folder structure, subfolder, and I have a special folder here. And so we'll talk about this later as we get into templates and how to create folders and how to apply them. So this is the structure of SecureDrawer. Settings. As I mentioned, there are user settings and account settings. It is from the account settings that you can brand your SecureDrawer with your logo. It is from the user settings and the account settings that you can adjust your SMTP email addresses, which I'll show you in a moment. When you create a new email, that person will receive a welcome email. Here is an example of such an email. My recommendation to you is that you create a guest user with another email address you have control over. That way, in the learning process, you can see what your guest user will experience. Coming to the top of the email, you will see the return address of noreply@securedrawer.com. Now, your clients know who you are. They do not know who we are. And so there's a way to adjust this under the account settings. You can add an email settings through your SMTP server. That way the email comes through your server. Again, your clients know who you are. Now under the account setting, this would be your company email return address. Each user within SecureDrawer can have their own email return address go to their clients. Here's an example of an email that would go out from the server alerting either you or your client that something has taken place. In this case, as you look, it says the file life insurance application PDF was uploaded by Pablo Conterio. Now, Pablo is a pretend client. This tells me Pablo has just sent me, the account owner, this document that he has uploaded that into his SecureDrawer, and I am notified that he did this. Now below that it says the life insurance application was downloaded by the main user, being me. You can also set up notifications so that when a download happens, you can see that that has taken place. Now I do not recommend you do that to yourself, because when you download something, you know you've done that. You do not need to see an email showing you what you just did. However, this may be helpful to know when your client downloads a document. Okay, getting back to the SMTP server, if you look up here, it says no reply at securedrawer.com. When you set it up to come through your mail server, it will show your email address. or your company's email address, or the email address of another user within SecureDrawer. So going back here, you can see this is where the account settings is. And from here, you can set up your SMTP settings. You can also see how many users you have, how many guest users, how many files, how much data that you're using or storing at this point. And then over at the top right, you'll see here is where the user settings can be changed. And there's two different locations you can change the user settings. The user settings also allow you to set up an SMTP return address for that particular user. And I'll show you and demonstrate this right now. So let's take a look. Okay, back in SecureDrawer, I can click on the user settings button from up here on the toolbar, or under the main menu tab, the hamburger button here. I can come down here and click on user settings. Two ways to get to the same results. Now under user settings, I can see my email address. I can change my password. There's a session expiration after blank minutes. You can decide what that is. So as the browser is left alone, that's how long it will stay open. Once it hits the expiration time, it will close, it will lock out. Down here, you can see email settings that we were talking about. Now this is for the SMT settings for the user, for this particular user. Okay, so if I go back to the hamburger menu, go to the admin tab, and then go down to settings under the admin tab, this is where you find again your account settings. And so when I change or add to the email settings here, this will activate an email return address for your company. And if you just want that to be used and no other, because each user can set up their own return email address, you would simply come over here and click this button and it'll override user email settings with account email settings. So if you do that, then this will always be the return email address that the client sees. Also under settings is where you would actually brand your account. Click the branding button here, and that opens up this page, and you can see down here, my business. I've already branded this with my logo. Now, how do you do that? It's very, very simple. First thing you want to do is decide is what color do you want on your toolbar. These are your choices. All you do is click on the color that you want. How to select an image? You simply come here and click Select Image. It opens up a window into the computer that you're sitting on, and then you simply go and find the logo that you wish to place in SecureDrawer. Click on it, click Open, and then when you do that, it will appear in this box here. It's a preview window. If you like what you see, click Update, and then it will appear up here in the toolbar. So in review, if I come down to account settings here, again, this would set up the email address for your company or your business. If I come up to the user settings here, this would be a different email address if you choose for that individual user. All right, let's move on. Okay, users and groups. First, there are users and guest users. The number of users you will have in SecureDrawer is determined by the number of users you have purchased in eFile Cabinet. The number of guest users you can have is unlimited. I will also demonstrate the purpose and benefits of groups, how to create a group, and how to assign users to a group. So let's take a look. Okay, back inside eFile Cabinet, coming up to the hamburger menu in the upper left-hand corner, going down to the Admin tab. This is where I can create and manage my users, my guest users, and my groups. But let me show you something very quickly that will be helpful to you as we go forward. I'm going to go back to the main menu by simply clicking the icon here, whether that's SecureDrawer or your own icon, logo. And I'm going to come over here to where it says Need Help. We have a service called WalkMe. This is a fantastic service that walks you through what you need to do next. And so how can I help you? There's functionality here. I'm going to go down to Create User. Now when I click on this, it opens up a window that takes me to the first step I need to do. Click on the hamburger icon. So I click on the hamburger icon. It takes me to the next step. click on the admin tab. I click on the admin tab. It takes me to the next step. Click on users and groups. So I click there, and then it's going to ask me, would you like to create a user or a guest user? Well, let me create a user. So I click here, and then it takes me exactly to where I need to go next. Create user, and then it opens up a window, and I can start creating this new user. Now I'm going to close walk me here, but it's there for you at any time you need to be able to go step by step by step as to what you need to do next. Okay, I'm going to go back to the main menu, and I'm just going to review this. Go to the hamburger menu, go down to the admin tab, go to users and groups, click on users. Now, user would be a partner of yours, somebody that's in the company with you. If you are the main user in the SecureDrawer account, your email will be the main email. You will be the main admin in this case. So you can create other users, and depending on the roles they have within your company, can determine what that user can and cannot do. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So let's create a new user. Right now, I'm the only user in here. Okay, it opens up this window. The email address is essential. You can put a name here of that user. You can give that user a profile. Remember, I showed you a couple profiles. I showed you a profile for family, and I also showed you a profile for eFile Cabinet employees. And these are the fields that I created in that profile. And a little bit later, I'll show you how to do that, how to actually create the profiles. Okay, in terms of permissions for this new user, you can see they're outlined right here. User management. This allows access to the management of users for this user. And you need to check these boxes if you wish to give this new user permission to do these functionalities. Guest user management. This allows access to the management of guest users, the management of groups, the management of profiles, a recycle bin, templates, and so forth. So you can look at that and see what kinds of permissions, some or all, that you wish to give to fellow users within your company. Here are groups that I've already created. There's no limit to the number of groups you can create. So at this point, I can determine what groups I want to make this new user a member of. Okay, so if I were going to create a guest user, I simply come right here, click on guest. Okay, and here are all my guest users that you can see. Okay, all I have to do is go over here and create a guest user. Now, there's two ways to create guest users inside SecureDrawer. There's one way to do it from inside eFile Cabinet. We'll discuss that when we talk about the integration of eFile Cabinet and SecureDrawer. That's a separate training. So if I want to create a guest user, I simply click this. If I want to search for a current guest user, the fastest way is to come up here and search. Remember Hector? Let's search for Hector. There's Hector, my pretend family member. There's the profile, the family profile, and Hector is a member of the family group. So let's go back and create a new guest user, and let's just put a pretend email in here. And we'll just call this pretend user, and I could select a profile if I wish, or I could give this pretend user membership in whatever group I wish to give this person membership in, and then I would create them. And I can always go back and change that membership at any time. So okay, let's search for that new user, that new guest user. And there's the new guest user. I can always go back and you can see I've made this guest user a member of the family group and the mutual fund group, and I can also remove a person from a group very easily also. So let me show you how easy it is to create groups now. Come over to groups. Here are all my groups. All I need to do is create a group, and let's just call this maybe the party group. Maybe I'll have a group of folks that want to know if I have parties and they want to be part of that group. So I add a group, and so now I have a party group down here. And so if I go back to my guest users, if I want to come back here and let's say pretend my new guest user wishes to be a member of that party group, I can come down here and simply click on party and update it. And now the pretend user will also be a member of the party group. Okay, one of my guest users is Pablo. This is a pretend client, my pretend business. There's Pablo and Pablo's profile information. And Pablo is a member of the newsletter group, and that is all. So I am going to log in as Pablo. Pablo is a real person in terms of an address, an email address. And so I'm going to come back to the main menu. I'm going to go down to the SecureDrawer cabinet and say Pablo's here. He's in my client's cabinet, or I can come up here and search for Pablo. So there's Pablo. Very quickly I can click on the name here. It takes me right to the drawer that Pablo exists in. Okay, so now I'm going to log in as Pablo using SecureDrawer. Now this is the guest user. So Pablo's logging in. Let's take a look here at Pablo. He can see the My Business account. He can see the Pablo drawer and the newsletter drawer. Okay, now let's say Pablo for some reason marries my cousin, and now Pablo becomes a family member. So I want to make Pablo a member of the family drawer. And it's very easy to do. I go back to the admin area, go to the main menu, go to admin, go to users and groups, search for Pablo under the guest user, click on Pablo, come down here and make him also a member of the family group and update it. Now when I go back to Pablo and refresh the browser, you'll see another drawer here. He'll be a member of the family group and you'll see that drawer. So I simply refresh the browser and there he is, also now a member of the family drawer. Anything I put in my family drawer, Pablo will receive. All right, you can also see Pablo is limited to what he can see. He can only see what I allow him to see or be members of. All right, so that's setting up users, guest users, and groups. Profiles, which is metadata, unique identifiers. Profile items and profiles are used for the same purposes in SecureDrawer as they are in eFile Cabinet. By tagging items with profiles, you are able to search for them. So let's take a look. Back again inside eFile Cabinet, I am going to my business account. I'm going down to SecureDrawer. It is in SecureDrawer. I have all my pretend clients. Okay, so if I click on Tom Adams here at the top, and then take a look at the detailed menu to the right here, and this icon is the profile button. It will show me Tom Adams' profile. I have created a client's profile. These are the individual profile items that I think are important. Now if I go down to Ben Booth, another client, you'll see same client profile, same items, but the information here are unique identifiers to Ben Booth. And each one of my clients has the client profile. Now one of the items in the client profile under customer is client. So every one of these clients has that in their profile. So if I search just for client up here, it'll bring me all of my clients. Just as I search for kin up here, it brings me all of my family members. So back to the admin tab, and let's go down to profiles. You have profile items. These are your building blocks to your profiles. And you can see address, city, company name, country, and then I have profiles. So I have my client profile at the top, and you can see full name, email, customer, company name, phone number. These are all the pieces of my client's profile made up of profile items. If I go back and see my family profile, you can see these are the pieces that make up my family profile. eFile Cabinet employee, these are the 4 pieces that make up the profile of my eFile Cabinet employees. So I'm going to go back to the main page here, Click on Tom Adams, my client again. Go to Profiles, and I am going to add a profile item to this profile. I'm going to add Start Date, so I can put in a date when this client became a client of mine. So go up to the hamburger menu, back to Admin, go to Profiles, go to Profile Items, come up here and click Create a Profile Item, and I'm going to call this Start Date. And what kind of item is it going to be? A text, an email, a number, a date? Yes, this will be a date. Okay, and so I'm simply going to add this. Then I'm going to go to my profiles. I'm going to my client profile. And you'll notice down here, now I have another item to choose from, the start date. So I'm going to click on this. It automatically brings it to the bottom of my profile items, but I want to bring it up further. So I'm going to bring it up right under the client's name. Okay, then I'm going to save the profile. Now when I go back to my home page, go back to Tom Adams and click on Profiles. Notice we have a start date here now. That's part of the profile. It's not filled out. So let me edit this. I come up to this little button here, and now I can put a start date in here. February 20th, 2009. And update it. And so now that profile item's been filled out. If I go to Ben Booth, you'll see the start date is blank. I would need to go and fill that out for each client. But going forward, that would be a profile item that I would have that I could then search for up here. So let's go back to the main hamburger menu, to admins, to profiles. So if I want to create a new profile, I simply come over here and click create a profile. This window will show me all of my profile items. So I would name the profile, call it a demo profile, and then what items do I currently have that I want in that profile. And I simply click on the item. It goes all the way to the top. It's that easy. It just jumps up there. And so very easy to put these together, and then you can manipulate the item up or down if you wish it up or down. So it's that easy. So that's how you create profile items and how to create the profiles. And then the benefit of them is another way in which you can search for items up here or under the user or groups. All right, let's move on. Templates. Just like eFile Cabinet, SecureDrawer allows you to use templates to create predefined folder structures. So let's take a look. Okay, back inside eFile Cabinet, I'm going to the hamburger menu, down to the admin button, down to templates. Now, I currently have two template libraries, one for accounting and one for human resources. Now, library holds templates. I only have one template in each of these at this time. I have a tax client individual template, and you can see the folder structure for that template right here. And so let's go back to the template libraries, and here's my human resource library, and I have an employee template in there, and here's my folder structure. Plus you can have subfolders in your template. There's really no limit to the number of folders or subfolders that you can have in your templates. And so right now I have two libraries with a template in each library. So if I wish to create a new library, I come over here, click on Create Template Library. I'm going to create an insurance library. And so in the insurance library, I will now create a template. and we'll call this insurance. So there's my first template. And now I'll create my folder structure. I right click, add a folder. So I'll create 3 folders: auto, home insurance, and my last one will be life insurance. So now I've created a new template. That easy. There's no limit to the number of templates you can create. I'm going to go down to the SecureDrawer cabinet, which contains my clients, my pretend clients. I'm now going to go down to Mr. George Washington's drawer. You can see there are some documents, files in that drawer. I can peek at it by going to the file preview here and take a look at each one of these documents if I need to at this point. Now, George Washington has no folders within his drawer, so I'm going to apply a template by right-clicking on the drawer. A window opens up. I go down to Apply Template, and I'm going to choose the accounting template. There's the new insurance template we just created, and I'm going to apply my tax client template to George Washington's drawer. And so it has applied successfully. Now, if I were to go to eFile Cabinet, and if inside eFile Cabinet George Washington exists and they're mapped together, inside eFile Cabinet you will see this folder structure now automatically appear also inside eFile Cabinet. I can also create just a folder on the fly by right-clicking on the drawer. I wish to do that in. Go to New Folder, and I'll just call this a special folder. So creating templates and applying templates is that easy. Permissions. Permissions is a fundamental part of security that allows you to determine who has access to what and for how long. All right. In order to demonstrate permissions, I'm going to start out by creating a new cabinet. I'm going to start a new business. It's going to be an insurance business. So I'm going to right-click on my business account, go to New Cabinet, and I'll name this Insurance. Now I'm going to go create my first guest user, my first client. Go up to the hamburger menu, Admin button, Users and Groups, Guest User. Create that guest user, new guest user's email, display name. Okay. I can put a profile in here, a client's profile, but I'm not going to take the time. I don't need to at this point. In order to demonstrate permissions, I'm going to give this person permissions to the insurance form drawer, and I'm going to create. Go back to the home menu, go down to my new cabinet. I'm going to right click and create a new drawer, and I'll call this drawer the new client's name. I'm now going to right click on the drawer and apply a template, and I will apply the new insurance template that we created. And you can see now this new client has this folder structure. Now I'll deal with permissions. So I'll come over to the detailed menu here, go to the permissions button, and you can see I, as the main admin, have permissions. I'm going to add permissions now to Mike. There he is, the new guest user I just created. And I'm going to give Mike read and write permissions. So I'll be able to send documents to Mike, and he will be able to send documents back to me. And so now Mike has permissions to this drawer. That easy. And notice permissions are pushed down. So if I go to the auto insurance folder, you'll see Mike is inherited permissions for that folder, the home insurance, the life insurance. Now I can adjust or change permissions at any level. I can also give permissions to other individuals and to groups. And so let's move on. Notifications. This allows guest users and users to be notified by email whenever a file in SecureDrawer is either uploaded, downloaded, or deleted. Let's take a look. Back in SecureDrawer, I'm going to search for one of my pretend clients, Pablo. And so here's Pablo's drawer, and I'm going to set up notifications. So over in the detailed menu to the right here, I go down to the notifications button. I click on that, and as you can see, the main user, I am already set up to be notified whenever a file is uploaded into this drawer or downloaded from this drawer. But now I want to give Pablo permissions also. So I simply come up to add notifications, type in Pablo's name, the search for him. There he is. And now what permissions do I want to give this guest user? Guest users do not decide these notification permissions. You do as a user. And so my recommendations for a client or a guest user is just to give them notification when files are uploaded into SecureDrawer and then save it. And so now if a document goes up into SecureDrawer, Pablo will automatically receive an email notifying him of the documents that have been moved up into SecureDrawer, which may be one document at a time or multiple documents at a time. Now there's three kinds of notifications. There's upload, there's downloads, and there's delete. Now I could set it up if I had given Pablo permissions to delete, which I have not. Then I can have it notify me if a document is deleted in SecureDrawer. But if I delete it, I don't need to be notified because I did that. So notifications can be put at different levels, and you can change a level at a drawer and you can make it different at the folder or down. When you set it up at the higher level, those notifications at that point are automatically pushed down. So with these notifications now, let me go up here. I've already logged in as Pablo in his account, and here's the drawer. And so if Pablo were to bring a document in here, let's just have him do that. I'm going to right click and notice the drop down window. I can upload, and this opens up a window into the computer that you're sitting on. So let's pretend this is Pablo's computer and he wants to send me documents back. And so I'm just going to grab several of these using my keyboard, my shift key or my control key. I'll cherry pick. So there's two, and let's pick another one here. Let's come down here to prescription. So these three documents now I am going to upload into SecureDrawer pretending I'm Pablo. And so they'll come up one at a time. There they are. So Pablo can see those. Now as the main user here, as I refresh, I should be able to see that those documents have come into SecureDrawer, and there they are. And I'm able to view them as an admin. There's the one document, beneficiary form, there's the loan document, and there's the prescription. So I then should have been notified that these documents have come to me, and I can also send documents to Pablo. Another way to do that is just to drag and drop from your desktop into SecureDrawer. So that's another way to put documents into SecureDrawer. Very, very easy. Now if I wanted to download one of these documents, I can simply come over here to the little menu that allows me to delete a document, to send this to someone else, or to download it. So let's download it, and I'll just open it here. You can see it. Now I have control of that document that Pablo sent me. All right, as the guest user, Pablo has an email account, so let's check his email and see what kind of notification he received. And there you have it. So it says, the following activity recently occurred on your SecureDrawer account. So this just happened. This is what we just did today. And it says the file beneficiary form was uploaded by Pablo Conterio. And so you remember he's the one, the guest user uploaded this. And you can see here are the 3 documents. And each one of them have a link. So if I were sending this to the guest user can simply click on the link and it'll automatically open up the login to SecureDrawer. And there you can see it. So let's move on. Item expiration is a tool that allows a user to either delete or remove access to a file, folder, drawer, or cabinet automatically after a determined period of time. Back inside eFile Cabinet, in Pablo's drawer, there are 3 files, documents you can see here. This first one, this loan document, you can preview it, which we're doing. And I'm going to put a item expiration date on this loan document. So I simply go to the detailed menu over here, go down to the item expiration button, click on it, and then I'm going to add an expiration. What I want to do here is just put an expiration date of 2 weeks on this document. And so then what do I want to happen at the end of the 2 weeks? Now, if I save it and keep it as delete, in 2 weeks, this document will automatically be deleted and will be in the recycle bin, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Or I can come down and remove access. And who do I want to remove access from? Well, Pablo, this is his drawer. I can remove access from him, and now I save it. So what will happen here is in 2 weeks, if Pablo logs into his SecureDrawer, he will not see this document. It will be in this drawer, but he won't be able to see it. I've removed access from him. And I can remove access from multiple people and groups if groups have permission to this document. I'm going to take this beneficiary form and I'm going to drag it into this special folder. Click OK. And this prescription document, I'm going to drag into this special folder and click OK. Now I'm going to go to the special folder. Both of those documents are in this folder. And I can do the same thing at a folder level. I can come over here and add an expiration. And so this time let's go a little further. Let's take it to a couple months from now, February 1st. And at that time, I want this entire folder and these documents in there to be deleted. I can always come back and change that if I want to as the user, or I can delete entirely the item expiration date on this folder. And I can set an expiration date also on a drawer and a cabinet if I chose to. Okay, now having been taught permissions, notifications, and item expirations, I'm going to show you the second way in which you can create a guest user from inside SecureDrawer. Well, let's say this beneficiary form that Pablo has asked me to send this form to his banker. Now, his banker is not a guest user, but Pablo wants me to send this in a secure manner to his banker. So all I have to do is right-click, go down to Share, opens up a window here. And if I type any of the users or guest users in here in this window, you'll see they'll come up. They're in my database. But this banker is not. He is not a guest user, so I need to create him as a guest user. And all I have to do is have his email address, and the name of this banker is Tom the Maker at efcbank.com. And then I simply click this arrow here. I can add additional people if I needed to. This person is not a guest user yet. What kinds of permissions should I give him? What does Pablo want me to do? If I give him just the read permissions, he'll get the email introducing him to SecureDrawer. Also, he'll be notified that a document has been sent to him. If I give him right permissions, he can send documents back to me. I'm not going to give him download or delete notifications, just upload so that he knows when documents are sent to him. And I'm going to put an expiration on this so that this document is available to him until next week. For just 1 week, I can put a note in here. Whatever that note is, and then I simply share it. Now, Tom the banker, watch what happens when I hit share. Okay, so that is off to Tom the banker, and I go back to the main menu, the hamburger menu, down to admin, down to users and groups, go to guest users, and search for Tom the banker. And there, Tom the banker is now a guest user inside SecureDrawer that quickly. Now going back to the home page, I could also, if I needed to, go back to Pablo Conterio, and let's go to that special folder. I can right click and share that entire folder and anything in the folder with whoever I want that quickly. I could go up to the drawer itself and right click and share the entire drawer with anyone I desire that quickly. And so that is the second way in which you can create a guest user from inside SecureDrawer while also sharing very securely on the fly documents that need to be sent to someone who is not currently a guest user in SecureDrawer. Recycle bin. The recycle bin contains all items that have been deleted inside SecureDrawer. These deleted items will remain there until they are either purged or restored by SecureDrawer users who have data management system permissions. So let's take a look. Okay, back inside SecureDrawer, I'm going up to the hamburger menu, down to the administration button, to the recycle bin. Notice there is nothing currently in the recycle bin. Back to the home page, I'm going to go to my SecureDrawer, and I'm going to delete Ben Booth's entire drawer. Right click on the drawer, delete. Now Ben is no longer seen here. I'm going to go down to Pablo. I'm going to go to the special folder and just delete the one file that is there right now. So I'm going to right click and delete that. And then up at the source documents folder, there are 2 documents in there. I'm going to delete the source documents folder. And then I'm going to go back to the hamburger menu, to the admin tab, to the recycle bin. And you can see there is the one document I just deleted. There's the source document folder with the 2 documents inside it. And there's Ben Booth's entire drawer. If I want to restore that, I can simply highlight the item I want to restore or purge. Let's restore Ben Booth. And let's go back to the home page. Come down to the SecureDrawer. Refresh it. The browser, SecureDrawer, and Ben Booth is back. The drawer is back. Now if I want to go back to the recycle bin, and instead of restoring it, in fact, let's purge the source documents folder. Now that is gone with the documents in it completely. And if I want to restore the beneficiary form, I can restore that. So that is the recycle bin. It gives you a choice to either restore the documents, folders, or whatever was deleted, what other item was deleted back to where it was deleted from, or to permanently purge it. And finally, audit logs. Audit logs provides a record of user and guest user activity while logged into SecureDrawer. So let's take a look. All right, there are 2 ways in which to view audit logs. The first way is an administration function. So I'm going to go to the hamburger menu, go down to the admin tab, and then go down to audit logs. And this will show everything that's happened within SecureDrawer. Now there are tools here. I can sort by date, by user, by these different columns here, category, login, description. And I also have some filters here, two filters. And so what I'm going to do is I can look at a date range. I can look at an individual if I want to look at a specific user, SecureDrawer user, whether that be a guest user or an admin user. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to first a date range. I'm going to look for Pablo Conterio. I want to see what he did on July 6th. I'm going to go down to July 6th. And then I'm going to apply the filter. Now this is going to show me everything that happened on that day within SecureDrawer. Again, I could sort by users, and I can sort by any of these columns here. But you can see it's all July 6th. Now I'm going to just pick up Pablo, and I'll type in his name here. And so now I'm going to apply the filter again. And you can see July 6th, Pablo Conterio is a guest user. And Pablo shows here downloaded a file called service agreement. So this shows me that Pablo downloaded the service agreement contract I sent him. I also received on that day an email showing that Pablo Conterio downloaded that file. So that's one way to view the audit logs. Now I can come down here and actually download the results and save it in an Excel document. And there is the two items that I've saved from this audit log. Now, let me search for Pablo up here, Pablo Conterio. And this will take me right to his drawer. That's where I want to go. So there's Pablo's drawer that appears in the search. Under the correspondence folder, there is the service agreement. So now here's the second way to view an audit trail. When I click on the document itself, I'm going to take a peek at it really quick. This is the service agreement that I sent to Pablo that I wanted him to respond to. At the detail menu at the bottom here, this shows the audit log as to what has happened to just this particular file. If I go up to this Word document, you can see not much has happened there. As I created it, I uploaded it to SecureDrawer. But the service agreement, you can see more has happened. And so I want to just see Pablo here. So I will sort by users. And here again, I can see that the file was downloaded. This particular service agreement, Pablo, my client, has downloaded that file. And that is great information for me to know. Also at this point, I can download a file showing me just what's happened to this document. And so here you see it's up that quickly. So the audit function within SecureDrawer is a great tool that allows you to know and records what's happening within SecureDrawer by yourself, by other admin users, and by your guest users. All right. Thank you again for taking the time to be on this training today. We also have additional support. If you have some technical issues, please go to our support.efilecabinet.com or go to the chat or call us at the toll-free number there. For additional training, go to training.efilecabinet.com. You can sign up for this training as often as you want. There's also, as you recall, a SecureDrawer integration training for both eFileCabinet desktop customers and eFileCabinet online customers. Thanks again so much. Appreciate each of you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And bye for now.